Sup everybody, today we're going to be doing some more we're going to be doing some more Kotohogushi today. We are not doing miotsukushi. That is a little bit of a skill issue on my part, actually remembering the chapter name as opposed to saying what I'm so used to be saying here. Yeah, but it's going to be really quite interesting today. I have no idea what to expect today. Yeah, yesterday was really quite interesting. I mean, we saw like something that I never really thought I'd be reading in Higurashi, honestly. I mean, yeah, it was just a really quite unknown perspective, and definitely something that I really want to learn more about. And I suppose it was a really historical perspective as well. I mean, you know, it's really nice that they've sort of included like the history from, I suppose from like a narrative point of view. They haven't really put the characters' point of views there, but yeah, they've just voiced it under a sort of third-person narration. But like, yeah, they've still sort of they've told us about the history. They made us have so many theories about the history, and now they're actually showing it to us. I think, I mean, it really isn't necessary to do this, but I think it's just so nice that they are. I really think it makes the story so much better. So yeah, I'm really excited to actually see what's going to be here today. So yeah, let's begin. There's a small pond through a forest not far off the path that led to Higurashi. It was originally created when one of the outflows of a mountain stream was altered by irrigation to create new rice fields, and water accumulated in the basin. Ah, interesting. Wow, that really is quite surprising. Just one small thing creating an entire swamp. Though the stream is dammed there, the water is always clear and pristine for some reason. Oh. On the other hand, the bottom of the pond was as deep as darkness, and despite its immaculate appearance, there were no signs of any fish or insects living there. A very eerie pond to say the least. I mean, that is actually interesting. I think this is just a further, like, human interpretation. I don't really think this says anything. It doesn't mean anything if you ask me. At the same time, Yasamul's lot, you know? If they can exist, then maybe something can exist at the bottom of the lake. I don't... the swamp, even. I don't know, though. It really is quite hard to tell. Thus, it was considered inhospitable to the villagers and not used as a daily watering hole, so hardly anybody visited it. Oh, yeah, fair enough, yeah. That's holy ground where Yashiro-sama dwells. The fact that no creature alive drinks from it, despite the water being so clean, is proof of that. I just love that ending. This guy's putting so much into it. Nobody is allowed to approach it. If somebody were to break the taboo, not just the trespasser, but every villager would be cursed. Interesting, yeah. It really is quite religious, this. It was the pond where the demon god Yashiro-sama dwelled, hence the name Onigafuchi. Those superstitions became credible legends, and thus everybody from conservative elders to innocently curious children were indoctrinated to never go there. Yeah, and it's been going on for hundreds of years. Thanks to that, the nearby forest was uncultivated. And the trees grew so thick that they blocked out the sun, creating a dark, eerie, and taboo atmosphere even in daytime. Yeah, that's actually fair enough. And it's interesting to think about that now because, yeah, we really do kind of get this same sort of impression now. Memories of the last demons are probably still fresh in their minds too. Interesting. No, but the only thing is I don't really understand how that would be the case. There are no demons that are possibly alive. I muttered that to myself as I approached the swamp and stepped forward. Next, I knelt down by the edge of the swamp and gently sank my palm on the surface of the seemingly bottomless water. Wait, what? Hairyun Yasumo Jedi.
ピュータスより同胞たちの査察の任を受け、この地に下されたジェダの仮名を継ぎし者。
So it says with the Jedi name assigned by the Putus to investigate the fellow brethren in this area.
リューンオークとの交信を求め。
Wait, what? I seek contact with Linus Ryun Orc.
認証完了。
Authentication complete.
正当なるジェダと確認。情報接続。同調を開始します。
This is so weird. Legitimate Jedi verified, establishing data connection and synchronization. What? Wait, hang on a second. What? The moment the response to that aria arrived, the surface of the water sparkled in the colours of the rainbow. God, that is properly weird. And a dazzling white light engulfed my line of sight. Afterwards, the scenery transformed to an indigo-hued space, with my finger hovering in the centre of it like a flowing projection. What?
お久しぶりです、ジェダ。
God, that really is quite weird. Yeah, it's actually really interesting that the purple-hued space is sort of depicted here. Who is it also depicted with? Hanyu. Yeah, it has been some time, Jeddah. Eventually, a light shined off in the dark distance and I could hear a voice echoing directly within my brain. Jesus Christ, that is so weird. Hang on a second, that's actually really interesting. So, this is the place that they use to actually communicate. I really wonder why they would communicate here. I mean, it could so easily be seen, but at the same time, that I'm just sort of referring to before it was sort of tabooed. People could have really easily seen this communication, but I suppose now, yeah, obviously everybody knows not to go there. I suppose the Oyashiro-sama rumours are, they have some hint of truth. I mean, this is the closest to Oyashiro-sama we're going to get, so, yeah. It really is quite weird, this. God, so that really is quite something. So Onigafuchi, like, thousands of years ago, had a really sort of supernatural context to it. It was sort of used to communicate between, I don't know, you and family members? Yun Orc. She was an autonomous data aggregation that possessed a will of her own. To be more exact, she wasn't a living being, but a kind of super integrated circuit made up of several operators. God, that really is quite something. So, this civilization, whatever it is, like, you know, the future civilization, is really quite advanced. Holy shit. Well, definitely compared to how we were. We didn't even know what a circuit was at this time. We didn't even know what electricity was, I'd assume. Kind of depends when it was, though. So I can't really tell if this was thousands of years ago, or maybe this was like 100 or 200 years ago. I think it's probably more likely, like, you know, 1,000 at the very most. An interdimensional transfer device developed by the Yun clan, Linus, also known as a control gate. Oh, right. So, oh right, she was built to control one of those, but I've made my own improvements to her, and now she was in charge of governing the actions of me and my brethren who had assimilated around the Onigafuchi village area. Oh, right. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I suppose the developer, the person that's made it better, you know, obviously programming it for their gain. And though she had no form, she learned to simulate creature-like feelings and character through her exchanges with me based on a huge amount of knowledge and records. God, that really is quite insane. I mean, this is just sort of where humanity is heading, you know, at the moment. Computers being able to learn human-like behaviour and just being able to implement that via, I don't know, just like voice communication or maybe even body language in a few hundred or maybe even 50 years, who knows. She had the voice and tone of an innocent little girl, but she'd existed in Onigafuchi before I was even born and was far older than me mentally. Oh, interesting. Therefore, she was my partner of many years and like a friend to me. Yeah, I mean, it's actually really tricky to say because even though this person has actually, this computer, has actually learned from, you know, like the behaviour of people and has actually formulated a personality of its own based on it, can you really say that this person is kind of like talking to a robot right here? It's either really sad or it's like sad, but you can sort of see why. Yeah.
長い旅でしたね。
That was quite a long journey.
大陸に渡られるとは聞いておりましたが。
I heard you crossed over to the mainland.
ああ、長老たちと月に会うだけの予定だったが、
Oh yeah.
その後の厄介事が意外に長引いてな。
Was just supposed to meet the elders and some acquaintances, but the trouble that followed took longer than
前
expected.
に会った時からどれくらい経ったか。
How long has it been since we last saw
こ
each
の
other?
世界の時間単位で
Jesus
20
Christ.
年と16日です。
Wow. Yeah, I love that the computer instantly knows the answer as well. Yeah, that's actually really interesting because, I mean, computers, they have brains faster than any human could potentially have, you know. Of course they're going to be able to, you know, do mathematics really quite quickly and obviously grab data. I really wonder if the data of when they actually last saw each other is sort of stored in, I don't know, some sort of database the computer would have to retrieve. That's actually really interesting. I wonder before Yasumo actually like improved this sort of, I don't know, I kind of think of it as like a droid almost, but you can't actually see the droid obviously, but yeah, before she actually improved it and obviously claimed it as her own as a result, I really wonder who before had it and what its role was before she was actually in Onigafuchi.
Hmm. そんなものか。
That long,
この
huh?
地ほど季節の差がない地域を渡り歩いてきたからな。時間の感覚がまだずれているのかもしれん。
Maybe my sense of time still out of whack from wandering to and fro in a land like this with so little change in the seasons. Ah, I drew a sword from the sheath on my left hip as I said that, pointing the blade sideways at the light. What is she doing? Oh, is she going to clean her blade somehow? The blade was densely coated in hardened black blood stains and nicked in various places.
修復を頼む。
Yeah, take care of repairs.
ずいぶん無理をさせてしまったからな。
Oh. Haven't exactly been using this with care for a long time now, you see.
了解しました。
Understood. Oh, damn. God, that really was quite easy. Jesus Christ, right when you and Orc said that, small clusters of grains emitted from the light and flew towards me. They spread wide, and then my outstretched hand and engulfed the whole sword as if grabbing it. God,
元通りにできそうか。
think you can make it good as new?
問題ありません。
No problem.
ただ、完全に修復するには自転周期でおよそ10単位必要です。
However, it will require approximately 10 rotation periods before it can be fully restored. What does that mean?
10単位。ほぼ打ち直しに近い期間だな。
10 rotations, that's about as long as it'd take to remake it.
Yeah.
Damn.
ほぼではなく、実際に打ち直しです。
Not about it is being remade.
分析したところ、頭身全体に血のりとアブランカが何重にも固まって、鋼の組織に結合してしまっています。
Damn. Upon analysis, I discovered that the entire blade is covered in multiple layers of gore and grease that have hardened and fused with the steel structure.
この状態で通常の鳩木を行っても、あなたの相場以下の鋭利度しか回復できないでしょう。
Yeah, that's actually fair enough. In this state, even if you perform ordinary sword sharpening, it will end up duller than your claws when restored. Yeah, God, that really is quite surprising.
そんなにか。
That bad, huh?
それに、つば元あたりがひどくひび割れて折れる寸前です。
Oh. Furthermore, the area around the sword guard is so badly cracked that it's on the verge of
ジェ
breaking.
ダ、刃が鈍った状態のままで 戦闘を無理に続行しましたね。
Jesus, Jelly, you kept using this in battle even after the blade had dulled, didn't you?
よくわかったな。
Sharp eye. Yeah, definitely. But the only thing is, I am genuinely scared of this person. If she is this threatening with a blade that is not even fully sharp. Jesus Christ, man. This is the third time that's happened, you know. Oh boy, somebody's getting a little bit of trouble. I instinctively grimaced at that back and forth. That back and forth you'd normally hear from a cheeky kid. I know she's worried about my health, but it's no fun when she points it out so accurately. Oh, that is actually fair enough, yeah. Yeah, there wasn't anything I could do about it. Those were some considerably fierce battles. Yeah, and especially the last battle, I mean, it is literally threatening the, sort of homeland that she's aspiring to protect the people there in. God, that really is quite surprising. I wanted to at least preserve the blade, but the humans' whetstones were so brittle that they weren't of any use. What is a whetstone? What does it look like? Oh, so this is a stone specifically made for sharpening blades. Didn't actually realise that. That's quite interesting. That really is quite surprising though. Even, I mean, that really just shows how bloody sharp this blade is. I just can't believe that she caused so much damage, and yet the blade wasn't even at its sharpest. I mean, Jesus, this woman is literally fearless. God, the polluted blood of the Griffiths can't be washed off with water and cloth. Was that it? That is actually quite surprising. That really must be staining then. God. I think I recall you saying that once before. I'm actually quite surprising. That's actually quite surprising to learn, I would have thought, because this person's a literal computer. Then, just, it's kind of shocking to me that she thinks she's not fully certain. Yeah, of course she remembers the response though. And in response, I believe I told you the proper way to deal with it, as you requested. Yeah. That right? I tried playing dumb at you, Norks. Honest reminder, but I gave up on making further excuses because the biggest reason was that I slagged off since actually tending to the blade was a pain in the arse. Since my long-time friend's super integrated circuit, since my long-time friends are super integrated circuit, it's only natural she record every little thing I say and do in our time together, so I can't really talk any I can't talk my way out and out of anything with her. God, that is actually fair enough. I couldn't imagine just any lie, any secret that is going to be remembered, any secret, any embarrassing story, anything like that, that's going to be remembered for the entirety. And if behaviour is mimicked, you know, mocking behaviour may be mimicked, and then, yeah, computer may be a little bit, annoying. I'll be careful next time. Anyway, I'm counting on you. Understood. Because he's actually going to sharpen her sword and reunite it. On that response, the sword engulfed in light dissolved into particles. Wow. Turning it into a fist-sized spear that danced through space before being sucked into the source of the light. Jesus
少
Christ.
々心もとないかもしれませんが、修復まであなたの剣をお預かりします。
Oh. You may be a tad impatient, but I will hold on to your sword until it is restored. Right.
ここの集落にとどまる限りは、私の目と耳、そして口も届きますので、緊急の知らせがあればすぐお伝えできるでしょう。
As long as you stay in this settlement, my eyes, ears, and mouth will be able. My eye, I love that they're all in quotation marks. Will be able to reach you, so I'll inform you right away if any emergencies
鞘
come up.
にある家電結晶を媒介に使いますから、鞘だけはなるべく携行していてください。
I will use the charge crystal in the sheath as my intermediary, so please do your best to keep it on you.
わかった。面倒をかけるな。
But sorry for the trouble.
面倒ですか？
Trouble, you say?
剣の管理は私の役割であり、そしてあなたの支援を果たすための義務です。
Oh. Fair enough. Managing your sword is my role and my obligation
ゆ
to
え
support
に
you.
この作業に対して消極的な思考を持つことは、私の存在意義を自ら否定するということ
Oh
にな
my
ります。
god, you are going to analyze everything so in depth. That's actually really funny with the whole robotic related thing. I'm assuming they've learned, this robot has learned, well, this communications device, wire communication device is actually wired. Why did I say wired? Well, I suppose because I thought it was a circuit, it could be wired, but yeah. I really wonder how they would do this. Like, if you actually made something like this scientifically, I really wonder how it would not only respond to your brain and your brain only, but how it would actually send the communication, like from the input to the output as well, and how it would input the communication as well, and how it would make the voice, and I don't know which waves would be sent and stuff like that. God, it really is quite insane to think. But it is quite crazy. So light makes this sword like literally dissolve into like a fist-sized sphere, and then dance through space before it not only being sucked into the sort of the light, but secondly like disappearing as well. I mean, that is really quite crazy. It definitely shows that matter, matter can be broken here. Therefore,
ああ、わかっている。
there, yeah, I
そ
know.
ういう意味ではなくてな。
yeah, seriously. That's not what I meant. It's more like I smiled bitterly as I explained the meaning and the intent behind my gratitude. That's actually fair enough, so that Yunok can actually learn from it. Yeah, to which Yunok answered, I see. So far, I've taught her all sorts of meaningless ways to talk in order to kill my boredom. That's actually fair enough. That could actually be really fun. Could you imagine like getting a computer and then, I don't know, for example, like with me, I could make it absorb all the information about every single Higurashi chapter that I've actually read so far, and then I could ask everything, and then I could obviously... It could have the information, and yet it could probably sort of still masquerade the fact that like it doesn't fully know it. It could just pretend that none of it is actually known, and it can theorize with me, and it can help me solve things and stuff like that. Yeah, I need to get a life. It's the epitome of self-satisfaction, but it's proven useful for killing time in my long existence. Yeah, fair. Thanks to my efforts, she started lightly reprimanding me and asking me questions, rather than just simply affirming my reports like in the old days. Yeah, that's actually
思考
quite
回路
something.
および言語中枢を更新しました。
Oh, thought patterns and speech centers
以
updated.
後、対応に努めます。
I'll just try to address this issue. Yeah, being too
と
analytical.
ころでジェダ、大陸の任務はいかがでしたか？
Yeah, there we are. That was a question. Sort of a conversation starter, I suppose. Incidentally, how was your mission on the mainland?
上々とは言い難いが、一段落といったところだな。
Oh, it'd be hard pressed to say it's going swimmingly, but it's not going as bad as it used to be.
他のジェダたちと共にグリフィスの所在地を一通り確認して、
Other Jeddah?
危険区域にはできうる限りの予防策を打ってきた。
Yeah, I worked with other Jeddah to sniff out Griffiths and took as many precautions as possible in the danger zone.
これが機能すれば、当分グリフィスの突発的な暴走は抑止できるだろう。
If this works, then we'll be able to deter any Griffiths rampages for the time being. That's actually really interesting. So, another Jeddah. Who is the other Jeddah? Though some of that was admittedly wishful thinking. Oh, right. I wonder if the, you know, the Unionwalker is actually going to be able to see that it's wishful thinking. That's actually really interesting about the sudden Griffey's rampages. So I really wonder if those demons, you know, the demons of the Yin family, Yin, yeah, family. No, wait, not family, species. Yeah, I wonder if there are more of them that actually come to Hinamizawa that aren't just the ones that we've seen. I always was under the impression that the ones that have been killed just now are like the representative of the entire sort of species. Right. Though some of that was admittedly wishful thinking. We poured our blood, sweat and tears into establishing night perfect countermeasures this time. Yeah, if this doesn't work, then all of our efforts and casualties would have been a total waste. Yeah.
相当の激戦だったと先ほどのお言葉にもありましたが
Earlier you mentioned something about considerably fierce battles.
転戦の連続に加えて規模も広範囲にわたってどこもかしこも文字通りの死闘だった
Yeah, not only was it one battle after the next, but the scope was so big that every one of them was a literal battle to the death.
とりあえず元凶となっていたグリフィスたちは大量に処分したが
For now, the majority of the responsible Griffies have been
私が無事に
eliminated.
帰還できたのはおそらく運が良かっただけだろう
But it was probably sheer luck I got out alive. That's actually really surprising she's saying that, because with the commander, I mean, she was absolutely brilliant with the commander. The commander did not stand a chance with her.
あなたほどの手だれがですか
In spite of your consummate skills.
群れの動きが異常に素早く
Yeah, interesting. The herd was abnormally fast.
分散して行動されていれば少々
Oh
厄
yeah,
介だっ
that's
た
actually fair enough. It would have been kind of troublesome if
特
they
定
split
地域
up.
に密集していたので確固に撃破してなんとか片付いたが
Although they were clustered in specific areas, so we crushed them individually and managed to win the day, but still, yeah. I really wonder why she's saying we, as opposed to just her, because that is the only point of view we saw in the battle. Just her. I really wonder who else could be involved in this. The ones who've been in charge of those specific areas were at the start were almost all wiped out. Jesus Christ! I couldn't help but shudder at the thought of being in their shoes. Yeah, my God. No, especially because of these Griffies. They have fucking sharp claws. A death from them would be seriously painful.
処分
Yeah, still though, you eliminated them.
今回
Yeah,
は
yeah,
グ
definitely.
リフ
Yeah.
ィスの鬼化があったのですか
Were there any demonified Griffies this time around?
全員な
Yeah, all of them. Okay, that's actually quite surprising. Yeah, so I'm assuming like a demonified Griffies is really, really rare to exist. So I'm assuming Griffies are the normal species, and then the demons are sort of the
末
demonified
期症
Griffies.
状で救いようがなかった
Their symptoms were terminal. There was no saving
周
them.
辺の町村へも襲撃して深
Wait,
刻な被害をもたらしてい
what?
た
They attacked nearby towns and villages, causing serious damage. Their symptoms were terminal. You've got to be kidding me. Could this be the origin of Hinamizawa syndrome? Yeah. The demonification Leonark spoke of just now is a phenomenon where the body structure of a berserk griffith develops abnormally, turning them into monstrous beasts. Interesting. Oh god. That's actually really interesting. So these species, I didn't actually realise this, because of our interpretations, you know, being firmly shaped by how we sort of known them firstly. I really wonder if this is sort of like Hinamizawa syndrome, you know, where people, really, really brilliant people, just lose all reasoning, all sort of thought, and, you know, obviously it's all replaced with, you know, murderous and suicide-like thoughts, really. Griffiths with this condition lose all sense of reason. Yeah, interestingly, same with the people with Hinamizawa syndrome, and are driven only by destructive and murderous impulses to destroy, ravage, and kill everything in their path. God, that really is quite horrible. I can't imagine how, you know, Yasuma must have thought, like, seeing these Griffiths, people of her same sort of species, you know? The Yun species, I assume. Since they're impervious to most physical attacks and can quickly regenerate most wounds, no being from this planet can oppose such a threat. Ah, right. Yeah, especially humans as well. I mean, these people have... These Griffiths have massive claws. They're not going to be able to... Yeah. Oh god, the settlements they visited right before the decisive battle on the mainland in particular were gruesome. Oh god. Yeah. Every man, woman and child was found with their limbs torn, heads crushed, and guts devoured and mauled by beasts. Jesus Christ. God. Jesus Christ. It was so cruel that there was nowhere to bury them or hold a memorial. We burned the whole settlement down as a cremation. Yeah. Every last piece of that horror is conveyed to Leonark as images via her synchronization with her memories. Oh my god, I can't imagine seeing that. And seeing how awful that must be. I mean, there are some awful things we've definitely seen in this novel, but I just cannot imagine like the whole village you're protecting, seeing them, all of the people in the village being, you know, devoured like that. One screen after another opens up in this void, replaying the spectacles I witnessed. Oh god. What, are we going to see some? Okay, good, we're not. How horrible. Yeah, even though she should only be giving a pre-programmed response, there's a hint of gloom in her voice. Really? Yeah, I kind of get what... A hint. No, maybe that's my sentimentality talking. Nah, I think there's a tiny bit. Not really that much, but tiny bit. After all, Leonark isn't equipped with the circuits to possess emotions beyond my input.
大陸の連中に加え、各地から集められた他のピトゥスたちとも連携して討伐に当たったのだが。
I put together with... Oh wait, Putus is a species. I don't know. Yun... Suppose... I don't know, I'm really confused. I put together with Putus assembled from various other places, in addition to the ones from the mainland.
それでも半数近くがやられた。
Yeah, nearly half of us were wiped out.
油断して不意をつかれたとはいえ、遅れを取るとは情けない話だがな。
I know they caught us off guard in an ambush, but it's pathetic we fell behind them. Yeah, it's interesting she says that. I mean, at least the battle was on to be fair, but like still, that really is quite a shame.
それだけではないかと。
No, that isn't all.
確かに過去の事例と比較しても、今回のグリフィスたちは全て凶暴性の度合いが段違いです。
The Griffiths this time were all on a whole different level of brutality, even compared to the previous cases. Interesting, Leonark actually says that because, yeah, I suppose the Griffiths, I would assume that, you know, the body development being abnormal would have resulted. They probably have worse abnormal body development than people before, so as a result they're worse. Or maybe they're just stronger. Who knows? Leonark quietly stated that as she analysed the battle footage, watching the Jeddah facing off against giant Griffiths dominating and rampaging with their claws and fangs. Yeah.
しかも、ただ力任せに暴れ回っていた以前とは違って、動きと攻撃内容に一定の規則性が見られます。
Interesting. Furthermore, unlike the past where they relied on raw power alone, these Griffiths expressed uniform regularities in their actions and attacks. I really wonder if that's because they have a commander. Maybe they didn't have one before.
知性を失っていない可能性が高いかと思われます。
Oh, that's interesting. That may be the commander. Therefore, in conclusion, it would seem highly likely that these ones had not lost their intelligence.
長年の異種交配の影響か
Interesting.
な。
The result of many years of crossbreeding, I guess. That's actually really, really bad, though. I mean, if so I'm assuming like the reason why none of these demonic creatures are actually existing nowadays is just because of either them all being wiped out or maybe them moving to a different village or different place or something like that. I don't really know. I'd assume it would be more likely the first one, though. The result of many years of crossbreeding, I guess.
我らピトゥスとの差異がなくなりつつあるようだ。
Oh, it seems like the gap between them and us Putus is fading away.
元を正せば、奴らも我らが同胞、なるべく助けたいと考えていたが、
Because they were originally our brethren as well. I'd like to help
今
them.
後は難しくなるだろうな。
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but that'll probably get harder from now on. I gave a dreary sigh after saying that. The original duty of us observers was, as the name indicated, to observe the actions of our brethren and investigate whether they were coexisting peacefully with the natives of the land. That's actually really interesting. I really wonder why these, creatures have actually been forced to live in Hinamizawa as opposed to Onigafuchi even. Been forced to live in Onigafuchi as opposed to where they'd normally live. God, that really is quite insane. So this person can literally see the footage that is actually played within, I don't know, sort of your sight, really. I mean, I couldn't imagine that. That would be so creepy. I suppose this is for a good intention, but still. That really is surprising. That must be so awful just seeing like people of the same species just really, really deteriorate just because of, normal body malfunctions. What was the exact wording? Oh, they develop abnormally, right. Since Griffiths had a high probability of acting abnormally due to their composition. Oh, interesting. So their composition actually gives high possibilities, right. We were given the authority to give them appropriate treatment and take the proper measures based on our own judgment, or did... So I'm assuming it's either impossible to treat them, or maybe it's too dangerous to treat them, who knows. Therefore, executing a Griffiths was allowed as nothing less than an emergency measure. God, that really just highlights the urgency of this, to prevent disaster from spreading or for self-defense. But for the past few decades, instead of helping my brethren, I've been sent on nothing but missions to hunt down Griffiths who become berserk and turned into monsters. God. Perhaps Executioner was... Yeah, was a more fitting title than Observer. God. Also, while damages from Griffith's rampages and demonifications had decreased, their scale and threat was only growing. Yeah, interesting. God, I really wonder... As a result, us Putus, who were originally boasted an overwhelming superiority to Griffiths, now found ourselves suffering many injuries, even casualties, in our skirmishes with them. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just the evolving, I suppose. I really wonder what's actually causing their sort of illnesses and obviously their strength over time to get evolved. God, that really must be quite painful. Just having your own species, and yet you have to sort of kill them just because they've gone beyond help, really. I mean, it isn't really their fault anyway. It's just, like, you know, abnormal body development. That's nothing they can control.
この調子ではこの世界の人間たちはグリフィスによって食い尽くされてしまうかもしれない。
All the humans in this world may end up Griffey's follower at this rate. Yeah, that's actually fair enough.
だが、各地のジェダをはじめ、この世界におけるピトゥスは数が減る一方だ。
The number of Peters in this world, starting with us Jeddah, stationed all over, is only shrinking.
我々だけでそれをどこまで食い止められるか。
I don't know how far we'll be able to hold them off on our own. Yeah, fair. Jeddah.
新天地を求めた末、第二の故郷を滅ぼすか。
Destroying our second home after searching for a new world, huh? That's actually really interesting. So, yeah, Onigafuchi was definitely a home that they actually had. I suppose after their first home was destroyed, I really wonder what their first home was.
移民者ではなく、これでは侵略者だな。我々竜は。
I mean, nothing more than invaders, not immigrants. That's actually really interesting she says that. I mean, I don't really agree. I mean, if anything, they're going to be the immigrants that are actually going to fight the Griffies, who are actually the invaders, I suppose. I mean, the only thing is, the reason the Griffies are here as well, I'd assume, is just because they need habitat, like them. Oh, what's this going to be? Oh, it's eye-destroyingly bright light. The world my parents, the world the Yun clan lived in, was wiped out long ago. Was it due to the war, natural disasters, or disease? I was born and raised on this world, so I've got no clue. Jesus, so she's never actually been able to sort of, you know, sort of connect with her and know her own home planet. That is unbelievable. Anyway, the Yun abandoned their home to escape disaster and chose to cross dimensions and evacuate to this world to survive. Right. They accomplished this via phase transition. Sure. Don't even know what that I have no idea what that means. The bodies and minds of all creatures are comprised of a collection of electronic signals and subatomic particles that possess a fixed mass. In other words, information. yeah, fair enough. So theoretically, it's possible to move objects by converting them to fixed charge particles, transferring them to a different world, and reconstructing the information of the destination. No, the only thing is, how are you going to... I don't understand how you would actually make these particles move from one place to another. I mean, you can't exactly do, like, any sort of conductive, like, I don't know, means like you would with electricity. You can't just get a blooming, I don't know, electrical charge, get a block of metal and then have the metal conduct the electricity. I mean, that just doesn't work in this case. I mean, how would you get that information? I mean, having that information is good enough, but actually getting it from one reality to another just really doesn't make sense. Based on this theory, my ancestors, the Yun clan, developed phase transition technology, which is classified as parasites in this world. Oh my god, definitely, yeah. Yeah, if anything, I think if you showed this to humanity, things would definitely completely break. And yeah, history would be a little bit different to how it is now. Researchers invented Linuses, devices that use said phase transition to mediate interdimensional travel to save the Dune clan. Yeah, interesting. And then that's the Liner device. I can't remember what it was actually called. The device that was actually used to actually communicate via to Dune and yeah, some more, you know. Once they were completed, the Dune clan implemented a large-scale immigration plan, and the refugees were sent to a world in another dimension, one after another. God, that's crazy. Oh! What? However, according to Dune Orc's records, the destruction of the Dune homeworld progressed faster than expected, sending the urgency of the immigration plan through the roof. Oh no, are they actually going to have to immigrate before technology is actually developed? It is said that the refugees, in their desperation to escape the crisis, fell into mass hysteria and lost their cool, rushing to the Linuses at once and gradually escalated the situation beyond control. Oh no! And thus, in order to deal with the enormous number of people, the formerly orderly and regulated immigration plan grew sloppier and pushier. Yeah, perhaps that chaos was only inevitable in the face of a literal life and death emergency like that. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. However, that caused a major problem. Oh god, the blood is getting worse. What? The phase transition process actually had a defect. Is this why the Butus people have... No, not Butus, sorry, the Griffiths people have abnormal body development? When transferring something to another dimension, it resists objects that exceed a fixed mass. Well, that's really interesting. So when they're saying objects, are they talking about like information as a whole, or maybe human matter, or maybe just, I don't know, the particles that would actually be used to... I suppose the particles that would be used to store the information of this person. Being a little bit too big? Being too low, having too many molecules, something like that, I don't know. That's actually really interesting. So from Dune Orc, like, Yasma's probably been able to learn everything about what's actually happened before in the world that she could never really witness. She probably can see the videos of it as well. Because it probably would have been taken from, you know, the sort of what the eyeballs of somebody else would have sort of scanned, would have sort of processed, really. That's actually really quite interesting. I wonder how that would happen. So maybe they somehow do something with the signals of the optic nerve, or maybe they somehow get away of, you know, what is it? What's the thing that, what part of the eye that focuses the image on the retina, getting all of the light that's focused on the retina actually replicated in a video or something like that. Why am I trying to comprehend this? I don't know. It'd just be really interesting to see like how they actually did it and what the sort of thinking behind this is. Obviously it will never happen because this is a thing called fantasy, but like, yeah, is it the iris or is it the... No, iris is... No, I think it's the iris that can... No, it's the lens that controls the amount of focus to the retina, I think. I can't remember though. Therefore, mass... Oh god, yeah, we got a lot of text. Complicated stuff! Therefore, mass transfer of mental information pertaining to one's individuality, such as memories and personality, is possible. Yeah, but physical objects such as bodies are unable to pass through the linos, creating a deviation between the information signals and the object. Oh, Jesus Christ. In short, the mind gets separated from the body. However, this risk only came to light after the majority of the Dune clan had transferred, leaving them with no way to deal with it. That's the worst, though. So you have this really, really big risk that's actually happened, and everybody has been affected before you actually have realised its existence. And as a result, most people had lost their bodies in the process of passing through the linos. What about their minds, though? Yeah, for most creatures that would result in annihilation.
リューンの民はその点で位相転移に激戦があったのかもしれません。
But perhaps the Dune clan had aptitude for the phase transition when it came to that.
適性か。
Aptitude.
それはいいことよりも悪いことの
Yeah,
方が
it
多
turned
か
out
っ
to
た
be
ように
more of a curse
思え
than a
るんだ
blessing, if you
な。
ask me. Right. Fortunately, the Dune clan were, by nature, creatures whose physical and mental makeup was bonded together by higher order molecules and possessed powerful charge and high information storage ability. That's actually really quite surprising. So I suppose if you're sending people off one by one, and you're actually breaking the links those molecules have, then I suppose that's really going to shatter the individuality, shatter the sort of connectivity these people have. So they can maintain their life source solely with mental information such as their personality for a fixed time after losing their bodies. Because of that, they lost their bodies and immigrated here as what this world calls ghosts. Oh, in other words, astral bodies. That's really interesting, yeah.
とはいえ、いつまでも肉体を持たない
Yeah,
ま
that
まで
said, they
は
couldn't
いかな
last
かった。
forever without bodies. Those astral bodies, with their intermittent molecular coupling and detachment, have a powerful ability to interfere with nearby organic matter due to their strong electrical charge. Oh god! Yeah, as such, if they continue to act in that state for a long period of time, they run the risk of altering their sense of self via unintentional accretion of the various information that compromises this world. What does accretion mean? The context, information. So growth will increase by the gradual accumulation of additional layers of matter, or gradual growth will increase. Astronomy definition interestingly, the coming together and cohesion of matter under the influence of gravitation to form larger bodies. Interesting. And at the same time, there was no denying the possibility that this could have negative effects on other creatures, like interfering with their genetic information and rewriting it. God, so Yasumo's parents, God, they really were quite lucky to actually be able to, actually transfer without dying. She's lucky to be alive. Thus, they decided to seek a creature of this world as a medium to possess in order to stabilize them into information. To possess, God. Those creatures were humans! Those who had the greatest capacity to accumulate knowledge. Yeah. Interesting. Oh! Right! First, the Yun clan would possess the bodies of human larvae who hadn't developed personality. Yes. Yeah, fetuses. I thought that's not how you spell fetus, is it? Yeah, you spell it with an there's meant to be an O there. Next, they synchronized their consciousness with the fetuses as their brain and nervous system developed. Fusing with the original personality over a long period of time before eventually maturing into a single personality. Oh, in other words, assimilation. It's really surprising to think that these people are basically taking people's lives for themselves. I mean, I get that. I suppose this is kind of a kill or be killed scenario, but at the same time, that is really quite unethical. God. I mean, do they care about ethics still? But yeah, it really is just fucked that they're literally killing babies just so that they can actually exist in this world. God, that really is quite surprising. The downside was that the Yun would lose the majority of their memories prior to the possession. That's actually really interesting because I would assume as the fetus's brain, you know, it's really not as... I mean, a fetus's brain is less intelligent than some animals, like less intelligent. I think the fetus has the same intelligence as a crow or something like that. That's something I've heard. So yeah, as a result, they're really not going to be able to store much information at all. But yeah, that is actually still quite good, yeah. Still, it allowed them to survive and retain their original personality, so many of them went without option. Furthermore, yeah, I suppose the most important and the most, I suppose, embedded memories into your brain are gonna, obviously... I think, like, the things that are deepest into your long-term memory, they're really going to shine here, I suppose. But short-term memory, nah, they can fuck off. Furthermore, the assimilated humans would inherit fragments of the Yun's information construction ability, memory ability, and creativity from before the possession. Ah. For example, how to handle fire after escaping their fear of it. After erasing their fear of it. Damn! That's actually really surprising they can do that. But I suppose if the Yuns don't have any fear of fire, then yeah, of course that is going to be the dominant personality because it's just stronger. And the invention of writing as a means to store and pass down information. And other developments such as mathematics to rationally improve social activities. Therefore, those abilities would blossom as they grew, and they would contribute to all sorts of fields in this world, exhibiting all kinds of knowledge and skills ahead of their time. Yeah, ahead of their time, that is very key, yeah. As a result, humans came to possess a much higher cultural standard compared to other creatures. And their civilizations grew by leaps and bounds.
初期の頃はこの規範が守られて同化も順調に進んでいたと聞く。
So hang on a second, here are they trying to explain the entire origin of the human race? What? I heard that at first. I've heard that at first they kept to the standard and the simulation was going smoothly.
だが問題はその
But
後
the
だ。
problems came after that. It happened one year when the simulation activities reached their peak. A serious epidemic spread through this world. It is speculated that the pathogen was a mutational outbreak and may have been brought by the Yun clan as the after effects of phase transitioning to this world. Whatever the case, human birth rates and infant survival rates dramatically decreased as a result. Interesting. And so, the astral bodies who'd chosen to possess them died one after another without fully assimilating with them. Oh god. The situation caused a commotion amongst our brethren who were searching for hosts while still in their astral form after arriving late to this world. Yeah, definitely. After all, their power to maintain their individuality while in their astral bodies could only be used up, not accumulated. Yeah, definitely. It's really, really temporary. It is death if, obviously, they can't have that power anymore. And if that situation continued for long, their personalities would decay and vanish. Yeah. Still, it was too risky to possess fetuses and infants who were extremely weak to the pathogen. Yeah, interesting. And so with that thought, some of our brethren who wanted to increase their chances of survival as much as possible began possessing not infants, but rather children, and even those in the cups of adolescence. Jesus Christ. Oh. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is about fetuses, I mean, at least they haven't actually lived lives before, but these people, they have genuinely lived lives, and they have had loads and loads of things that their brain is actually going to formulate. I mean, I'm actually interested. Let's say my age. Why not? Right. Average number of facts in a 16-year-old brain. Let's see. Is that gonna be like a full number? Please. Oh, I'm not actually getting a concrete figure. Let's see, 10-year-old brain, maybe that would be. Let's do round numbers. Five-year-old brain? 20? Nah, it's really not. I was trying to sort of learn, just sort of out of interest, how many facts, like the average sort of, let's say, I don't know, 16-year-old would actually have in their, sort of, locked away in their brain, especially in their long-term memory. Yeah, it would be really interesting just to see how many facts would actually sort of, how many facts, how many memories, how many sort of features of their lives would basically be taken over by these people that are genuinely trying to possess them, and they would be merged as a result. That would be horrible. Could you imagine living in something like that? Like, you have your memories and then they're just gradually taken away and you're forced to sort of have them mixed with somebody. I mean, that must be fucked. That really must be. I mean, it's fucking wrong, but I'm really interested in this. I could really imagine, especially people on basically going into adolescence, like, I could really imagine that being horrible. In the first place, Yuan astral bodies were able to assimilate by possessing humans over a period of time as infants, when their personalities were barely formed. Yeah, but their personalities are entirely formed. So if they instead ended up possessing those whose personalities had already partially formed, it would have led to conflict and rejection with the original personality. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. A complex, calculated, and definitely sort of, especially if, it kind of depends who you possess. I think more sort of ferocious type, like, I don't know, some sort of warrior type guy, guy with a warrior type personality, they would definitely not want to, you know, have this new sort of part of them, really. In other words, the two personalities would fight over a single body. Yeah, definitely, yeah. So naturally, they would engage in a fierce mental struggle to drive the other one out, and the winner would be left with serious injuries. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, the blood moon. As a result, the competing personalities and individualities fell apart, their thoughts decayed, and the more and more people appeared displaying abnormal behaviour. Yeah. God. Us Jedical, those of our brethren who possess the problematic factors. Griffies. Half-bloods. Oh. Wait, so does Griffies actually mean half-bloods? Like, again, I can't find anything. Oops. That's actually really interesting. So the Griffies are the people that, yeah, they're obviously, so they're part of the same sort of Lian species, but as a result of, yeah, that's really interesting. That. So furthermore, amongst Griffies with serious symptoms are those whose accelerated physical growth process goes out of control due to the effects of their genetic makeup getting mixed up during the assimilation process. The resulting brutality, strength, and overly aggressive impulses manifest as causing harm to nearby natives and brethren alike. Yeah. Also, there was some of us who have been living peacefully, but turned into Griffys via the mental interference ability emanated by other Griffys. Ah. On the mainland, they're likened to monsters such as vampires and ghouls that can infect others. Yeah, fair enough. In other words, those who seem to turn abnormal after coming into contact with them are in fact our brethren who possess the yin factor within them. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Furthermore, when Griffys reach terminal symptoms, they physically mutate a menacing appearance and abilities, the so-called demonification. Yeah, fair. Yeah, it's actually really interesting. So I suppose they really are half-bloods. They're part human, part Griffys, but yeah. I would assume the genetics wouldn't have actually mixed properly, because obviously they would have all been developed inside the human being. I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't have all been developed. I mean, for example, like the brain wouldn't have been developed fully, depending on the age, and depending on the age also, maybe they'd still be growing. I think you stop growing at 25 or 21. I can't remember. I know your brain starts deteriorating at age 27, so. Or at least that's what I've heard from the internet. I don't know, it just seems so supernatural, so sort of unbelievable that I don't really know if that figure's correct, but yeah. That's actually really interesting about the, physical mutations. I suppose I remember hearing something about, like, Gujisake Onna. It kind of reminds me of that, like, how they had, like, mouths that were so wide that they reached their ears. As a result, Griffys who had gone berserk, changed into beasts, lose their sense of reason and literally become demons who attack humans. Yeah! Oh, God. Yeah, the Griffys have rampaged, raged and dominated in many different places, leading to the rise of all sorts of urban legends. Oh yeah, fair enough, yeah. I'm interested. Oh, but it isn't a different picture in Yukishi's art. Man-eating demons, soul-stealing devils. Yeah, ghosts who wield mysterious strength. Oh yeah, definitely. That's actually really interesting about the whole electric charge thing that the ghosts possess. Could you imagine their electric charge as opposed to possessing humans? Could you imagine them using their electric charge to either, like, could you imagine somebody holding a metal and then, I don't know, the ghost trying to possess the metal? I mean, maybe it'll work, maybe it'll get all the electricity into the metal. Would maybe give somebody a little bit of an electric shock, depending on how much electricity. I'd assume a lot, because, like, enough electricity to store, like, an entire mind. The birth of religions and magic in this same time period is likely related to these influences. Oh, with no physical way for the native humans to resist those berserk Griffys, all they could do was flee their onslaught. Yeah. After all, while the civilization has progressed by leaps and bounds thanks to our assimilated brethren, they still couldn't make up for their brittle bodies. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Apparently, there were some brave souls who formed factions dedicated to using all available arms to repel the Griffys, but those almost always ended in tragedy. However, saviors appeared before them. those who possess the power to oppose the tyranny of the Griffiths and strive to stabilise the world while maintaining reason. Oh yeah, definitely. I'd assume those people would be the Putus people, like the ones that have actually been able to. I suppose they've either not had their minds and bodies separated during the travelling, during the phase transition process, or maybe the people that have actually been able to assimilate people correctly. The ones who advocated that and took up arms against them were from the Yun clan, much like the monsters. Yeah! Only immigrants who had luckily managed to arrive in the world with their original bodies intact. Yeah.
あのような怪物をこの世界に生み出し、無用
Yeah.
の悲劇を持ち込んでしまったのは
My
我
god,
ら
that
が
must be
竜
quite
の
something to, you
民
know,
すべての
I
罪
don't
業
know,
で
just
あり
have a burden
責
for,
任
you
であ
know.
る。
Really must be awful to have to deal with stuff like that. It is we of the Yun clan who bear the sin and responsibility of creating those monsters and bringing about these meaningless tragedies.
故に我らは我ら自身の手で最悪の目を摘み取り、
Yeah, fair enough, and obviously to
これ
make
を
sure
滅
that
ぼす
the seeds of
義
the
務を果たさなけ
disaster
ればならない。
don't affect anybody else as much as difficult as it may seem. Since they hadn't lost their original bodies, they still possessed their high physical and mental capabilities even after transferring it. Yeah, definitely, yeah. God, I really can't imagine that just sort of... I really can't imagine that, just having, like, my mind sort of separated from my entire body. I mean, in a completely different place as well. Mind separated from my body, and then having to sort of take somebody else's life so that my mind can be back in a state that's way worse than it originally was before. I mean, God. Oh. And so, as the enemies of the monster, the white Griffiths, they dubbed themselves as Putus, pure bloods. Right. The Putus decided that stopping the rampage of the Griffiths was their race's duty and responsibility. Yeah, interesting. And thus set out to deal with the incidents caused by the Griffiths all across the land. And then the 16 Putus families who played a central part in these duties were eventually called the High amongst our brethren. Right. Furthermore, the Jeddah, a family who possessed powerful combat abilities even amongst the other 15 families, took on the role of observers to keep an eye on the Berserk Griffiths and their descendants. I would not assume all the other families would fight whenever things have been reported. Oh wow, thanks to Putus' efforts, Griffiths who have been causing mayhem in various areas were gradually hunted down, and the natives of this world who'd been on the verge of destruction regained their original peace. Yeah. in that sense, the work of us Peters may have contributed to the preservation of this world, even if not only a little. Even if only a little. I mean, I suppose definitely the Onigafuchi would have been applied to that easily. If the Griffies had actually taken over Onigafuchi, then it really is debatable to think sort of think about whether the family will actually continue. Really old ancestors will actually be able to start families, and obviously them going so far into the future that they will either start new families that will start families that exist in the modern day, or maybe their families will go into the modern day. Like, it really is quite nice to think, if all of these humans hadn't been killed, I wonder how different Hinamizawa would actually be. I mean, it's thousands of years ago, but at the same time, still could potentially change stuff. But even those of us with such outstanding abilities had a tragic fate. Yeah.
そういえばジェダ
Come to think of it, Jeddah.
今回大陸には他のジェダと一緒に赴かれたと聞いておりましたが
Oh yeah, I remember that.
それ
I
は
remember that
以前
name.
お会いしたシーチェンジェダですか
I heard you work with other Jeddah on the mainland this time. Was it Shezen Jeddah who we met previously? Oh no! Oh no, was this like some sort of really close comrade?
Jeddah?
Jeddah? Oh no.
そのシーツェンが
Oh,
こたびの
that's
戦で
tough. Shezen
やられた。
fell in battle. God, you know shit is rough when even the computer is
彼女だけ
wordless.
ではない。
Not just
今
her.
回のグリフィスとの戦闘では
Oh,
4名が命を
God.
落とした。
We lost 4 in the battle with the Griffies.
これでジェダの名を継ぐ者はとうとう私を含めても数名になってしまった。
Meaning there's only a handful of Jeddah left now, including me.
大陸でもジェダの子がいたと聞きましたが
I heard there were Jeddah on the mainland who had children though.
皆
Oh!
流行り病で溶接したそうだ。
Oh god, that's awful. They all died young of
ただで
disease.
さえ肺は子を宿しにくいというのに。
The high already have enough trouble conceiving it as it is, so... I let out a dreary sigh. I didn't want to lie. The tragic fate imposed on us Putus was our extremely low birth rate. Well, the Dune did indeed live rather long. They were by no means a model. Yeah, and definitely, I suppose having infused with human DNA as well. If they haven't lost their bodies, sorry, if they have lost their bodies, actually merging with human DNA, yeah, that is going to really narrow your lifespan by quite a lot. Do keep in mind this is really old time, so as a result, there's going to be no healthcare. There really aren't going to be many things that they're going to be able to do if they die of any sort of disease that exists then. And due to it being so far in the past, it could happen anytime. Could even happen in like 10-20 years for a kid. Thus, the Putus focus their efforts on bringing and rearing of children at the same time as the execution of their mission. Oh. But successes were few and far between. Oh, right. God, that really is quite something. I was one of those very rare exceptions, and with the previous mission I had finally become the last exception.
シーツェンはグリフィスの奴らに不意を打たれて
Oh god.
駆けつけた時には一足遅かった。
Shizem was ambushed by Griffies, and by the time I got there it was too
20
late.
年前の借りを返すつもりであったのに。
Oh, what happened 20 years ago? I wonder if only I could have repaid her for what happened 20 years
そう
ago.
ですか
I see. Now that I was saying it out loud, I felt the regrets I'd nearly forgotten welling right back up. Oh. Citizen Jeddah was one of my fellow observers. Jesus, that must be so awful. That's such a close person who had been assigned to this region south of the island nation's capital. Like me, she was one of the select few Yun born in this world. So her death hit the elders just as hard. Yeah, definitely, yeah. God, I can't help it. Drag licking my mouth is so satisfying. That is really quite something. So, Yasuma would have been raised at the same time that her parents would have been basically fighting in, I suppose you could say, wars, like, quite a lot of times. I mean, probably not every day, but, like, whenever they felt like it, I suppose the Griffys felt like fighting. With her death, I was now the only young Putus left. Jesus! In other words, the only Putus with no memories of Mother Yun. Oh God, that's tricky.
お察しします。
You have my sympathies.
シーツェンは私にとっても頼れるジェダの一人でした。
Yeah, I consider Cezanne a reliable Jedi.
私以上に無口であまり親しい付き合いではなかったが、
She was even quieter than me, and we were never really close. Still, they are the
大
same
陸から戻っ
species.
た後は奴の国を訪れる約束をしていた。
But I promised to visit her country after returning from the mainland.
だがまさか
Oh.
弔いに足を
Oh
運ぶこと
my
になるとはな。
God, yeah. Still, to think I'll be going there for her funeral.
ジェダ、
Jeddah.
すまない。少々感傷的になって
Sorry,
し
a
ま
little
っ
bit
た。
emotional there.
疲れているだけだ。
I'm just
聞き
tired.
流して
Ignore
く
me.
れ。
Nah, show the emotion. You need it. Very well. But though she said that, Leonork's linked to my consciousness, so she can tell exactly what I'm thinking, so she must know that this sorrow isn't based in loneliness, but a stronger sense of emptiness. Oh God, that is fair enough. That really is fair enough. I can't imagine what she must be feeling right now. I mean, like, as well as a sense of isolation, bordering on despair. Yeah, definitely. I mean, she's not only got nobody that she can sort of relate with, nobody that was sort of born on Earth, I suppose, as opposed to wherever the planet the Ryuans were actually on, and also not even in the place that she should be in. I mean, Onigafuchi is cool and everything, but like, it's not their main planet where they should be.
生ある限り必ず死ぬ
Yeah, where there's life, there's inevitably
と
death.
はどこかの宗教家のセリ
I
フだっ
think it
た
was some
か。
sort of religious figure who said that. So sometimes I will ponder what my death would be like as the youngest and probably final Yun. Yeah, it's interesting that she says the final one. Yeah, you really do wonder. It is actually really interesting with the whole transfer, the face transfer thing. I really wonder if they're going to be able to actually transfer back, like, with the human technology. Even though they do have advanced technology, they are going to need the materials and resources that maybe they would have become known to them in the times we're living in now, but they definitely wouldn't be possible to. Well, they would be possible. Probably. Would they be possible though? That's the question. Well, even if they are possible or not, which probably aren't, it'd be very difficult to do. Insanely difficult. So, yeah. Unless there was some literal miracle, then I don't really know how it could happen. Would I pass away sadly while reflecting on being the last one? Would I fall into a lonely eternal sleep with no one to take care for me? Either way, I couldn't see any sort of light at the end of this tunnel. Yeah, that is actually fair enough. Maybe she could see the light of, you know, her having tried to protect the humans, and how she could sort of forge relationships with the humans, and obviously could get herself more well known and just live to protect them or something like that. I don't really know. But yeah, the feelings of loneliness, they're still going to be there. All of these feelings are still going to be there, in fact. That's why it hurt. I wasn't scared of death, but the thought of it was so lonesome.
Jeda?
Jeda?
竜王区
Ryunok.
私が臨終を迎えるの
When
は
do you think I'd... Yeah, it's
そ
interesting.
れは
Well,
お前には見えるか
can you see it?
私が最後どんな死を迎えることにな
What
る
sort of
か
death do I have in store?
せめて見届ける者がいる
Yeah,
臨終で
there's at least
は
somebody
あ
to
りた
see
いと
me
は
off.
思うがな
Oh god. Ryunok doesn't answer. I mean, to be fair, the computer does not know. Yeah, is it because that's not in her pre-programmed responses, or I'd hope so. Either way, I don't know. Yeah.
ところで竜王区
By the way, Ryunok.
話は変わるが20年前にこの村に出没した例のピトゥス
On another note, about the Putas who frequented this village
その
20
出
years
自は
ago.
判明したか
Have you discovered his origins? Oh, interesting.
実は私もあなたにお伺いしたいと考えてい
right, yeah,
ました。
definitely. That's another case then. I was hoping to ask that of you, actually.
どうですか、ジェダ？
What do you think, Jeddah?
Yeah, 私が突き止めていたのならば
Yeah,
お前に尋
definitely.
ねるはず
Wouldn't
が
be
なか
asking
ろ
if I already knew, right?
ということはお前も結局
Yeah.
わからなかったのか
Guess that means you came up empty-handed too.
申し訳ありません。
My apologies.
各方面
My
のライノ
apologies
スと
even.
も情報共有を行ったのですが、
I shared information with all Linuses.
残念ながら現時点でも有力な手がかりをつかんでおりません。
Oh, but unfortunately, we failed to find any strong clues at this point in time.
そうか
That's so. It was about 20 years ago by this world's time denominations. Alright, yeah. A demon with vast power arrived in Onigafuchi village out of nowhere. And thanks to his influence, local Griffies who all possessed the fact of simultaneously demonified and started attacking the villagers they coexisted with. God, that really is unbelievable. So the villagers were coexisting with these Griffies. They were having a peaceful existence, and then what the fuck? And then there's just this one grand existence that converts all of them into completely horrible, you know, killing machines, basically. And then, yeah. God, that really is horrible. I suppose this is where the Griffies really started becoming deadly. Fortunately, my combat abilities exceeded all of theirs, so I managed to suppress them. But that didn't mean the story immediately ended happily ever after. Oh god, no. Because the demon who caused the Griffies to demonify and led them was in fact a berserk Putus. Wait, hang on a second. Does that mean Putus family members would actually become...
今までの鬼化
Well,
による
Putus
同胞た
members
ちの
even.
暴走は
You couldn't really call them a
全てグ
family.
リフィスの仕業だった
Because Putus is just pure blood. But does that potentially mean that if it's a berserk Putus, then all the Putus people could potentially be infected as well? I wonder. Or does it only apply to the people that are half, of, you know, like human and mutant DNA, I suppose? All rampages caused by demonifications up until now have been the work of Griffiths.
大陸の一件でも
Yeah,
そういった
even on the
同意
case
が
of the mainland was the same.
しかしあの事件で先導していたのは
Yeah.
私たちと同じ
But
ピ
the
ト
one,
ス
but the one who instigated that incident was Abusus, just like
一体
us.
どうしたことなのか
Yeah, how did that happen? I really wonder.
わかりません。
I don't know.
ピトスが現地の人間を襲うことなど
At the very least, up until
少
now.
なくとも今までには決して
Yeah,
な
there
か
have
っ
been
たこ
no
とです。
cases of Putus attacking local humans. Putus rampages were a rare phenomenon to begin with, to say nothing of Putus demonification. Yeah, God. So this, yeah, because the fact that they transferred to this world with their bodies intact was proof of their mental stability. Yeah, fair. Yeah, and yet they've actually been able to cause a rampage. I really wonder why that is. And I checked with the elders, but it was very likely that they were a high. Meaning somebody who'd opposed Griffiths, just like us, suddenly went berserk and started attacking the local natives as well as us. What?
グリフィスたちが一斉に鬼化したのはおそらくピュトスの持つ強い精神干渉が影響を及ぼしたものと思われます。
I believe the simultaneous demonification of the Griffiths was likely due to the effects of the strong mental interference possessed by Putus.
そのため通常の場合では体内の因子を暴走させないはずの抵抗力を持った人々も精神状態が不安定になり
Perhaps that's why those who could normally keep the factor within them from going berserk ended up becoming mentally unstable.
適性の高いものが同調して鬼化してしまったものかと
Yeah, and those of high aptitude conformed and demonified.
厄介だな
What a pain! Oh my god,
も
seriously,
しも
yeah.
そのような周囲への干渉能力を持つピトゥスが他にも存在しているのだとすれば、
Yeah,
今まで
definitely.
の安全神話など簡単に瓦解する
If there were any Putus out there with the ability to interfere with their surroundings like that, then the myth of safety we've all been living under will go straight to hell. What about her? I mean, she's a Putus. You really think that she's going to be an exception to this? I wonder what would happen if she could potentially go rogue.
心して築き上げた暴発への対策がその襲来で全て打ち砕かれるということだからな。
Oh my god, yeah. After all, it will mean all the anti-outbreak measures we've worked so hard to establish will be smashed to pieces by that attack. Yeah, that's actually fair enough, and definitely because of them being Putus families. Because of the person that's actually attacked all of the Griffiths being a member of the Putus. I mean, I suppose there's just going to be, why should we listen to this sort of subspecies if, you know, things like these are happening, if an example of one of them is completely breaking a rule. And what's more, Putus' strength is in an entirely different league than a Griffiths. Oh, so when used in full force, it's easily capable of burying a settlement or two, or even in what the fuck? Jesus, an entire country. In fact, that my life wasn't in danger. If I'd arrived at this village even a little later, my brethren and the native humans could have all been wiped out. Jesus Christ. Yeah, these really are serious deals. Yeah. Luckily, the Putus system modification wasn't complete. Yeah, that was really quite good. If by chance he'd been fully demodified, then as a woman, even I, currently praised as the strongest view, would have stood no chance of victory. Jesus Christ. Furthermore, if I had the advantage the whole time, thanks to the surprise attack and Shizum's support. But I can't help but shudder at the thought of what could have been had things been different. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
現在も出元については探索中です。
I'm currently searching for its origins at this
騒動
time.
のルフ度合いから推察すれば、いずれか近隣のライノスの管轄にあったピトスかと。
Based on the extent of the turmoil flourished, I believe he was abused under the jurisdiction of a nearby Linos.
ただ、ライノスも今や半数以上が老朽化して機能を停止しているため、情報の完全把握は難しい状況です。
However, as over half of the Linuses have deteriorated and ceased functioning, it is difficult to grasp the full picture.
構わぬ。
No problem.
とりあえず何か判明したら
Yeah, just tell me if you learn something and spare no details. Yeah, do not spare a detail.
機能している
It's
周
very
辺の
important
ライノス
matter.
には注意を促しておくことを忘れずにな。
Also, don't forget to bring this to the attention of the functioning Linuses nearby. Oh yeah, fair enough, yeah.
はい。
Understood.
ところで、ジェダの今後の予定は？
Incidentally, what are your plans from here on out?
そうだな。
Good question.
私はしばらくこの村に滞在して
Yeah, I'll
動
stay.
向を見守ることにしよ
I'll stay in this village for a while and keep an eye on things.
う。例のピトゥスを打ち果たしたとはいえ、
Yeah,
その
fair
影響
enough.
完全に消えてなくなったとは思えない。
That Putus may be dead, but I doubt the after effects have been
念
completely
のため
faded.
指揮標となる金閣を水源地に散布してその反応を見ておこうと思う。
Just to be safe, I think I'll scatter a sclerotium. What the fuck is sclerotium? Marker in the water source and watch for reactions. So it's obviously something that I don't really understand what that would do. I suppose it would. Would it? I'd assume maybe it would detect the level of so they probably know how many times some sort of chemical that would be emitted from, I don't know, what was it? Well, maybe there's chemicals emitted from the after effects, and then they'll react with the water that's close by, and then they'll be able to compare whether the amount of the water reacts is similar to how much it normally would react. That's what I think, but I don't know. I have no idea. Genuinely have no idea.
そうですね。
I see.
うん
Huh? Neonork's evasive answer puzzled me. Oh. After all, normally she'd never give an ambiguous response like that. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you've programmed her well.
なんだ何か問題
There
があ
were
る
a problem or something?
いえ、ユーリタへの対応としては問題があり
Oh,
ませ
oh,
ん。
that's really good. That's really good. No, there are no problems with regards to your astral
ただ
body.
せっかくこの地に帰ってきたのですから、少々休息をされてはいかがかと思いましたので。
However, now that you are back in this land, I was thinking that you should take a little break.
休息
A break? Yeah, that is actually really quite surprising. I mean, why would you take a break, even though there could be the potential possibility of the Griffies, you know, really just coming back in, you know, a sort of more demonified state? I mean, if Putasis can become demonified, then yeah, it really doesn't bear contemplating how badly the Griffies could potentially come, you know. I instinctively snickered at that unexpected suggestion. Yeah.
いいな
what an
ことを
idea.
言う
Yeah.
グリフィスを打ち果たすがために生きる我らジェダイを支援する
Yeah, I
役目の王は
know. I
私に使
know.
命を忘れて休めとはな
You who exist to support us, Jedi, who live to exterminate the Griffies, suggesting I forget my mission and get some
どういう
rest.
風の吹き回しだ
Yeah, what did bring this
無礼
on?
を承知で申し上げます。
With all due respect, oh god, somebody is gonna get admonished.
あなたは疲れています。
Oh boy, you are tired,
それ
Jedi.
も心身ともに深刻なほど。
Oh my god, yes, you definitely should then. To the point where it's having a serious effect on your mind and
ゆえ
body.
にしばらく職務を離れることを強く推奨させていただきます。
Fair enough. Good sort of, you know, observation to make. Is she actually going to be able to do this though? That's the question I'm having. Like, is she really going to be able to do that with sort of the warrior, you know, is she really going to be able to do this? Because of course there's going to be a warrior, you know, just sudden invasion happening. What if she's resting, sudden invasion happens, the entire village maybe is destroyed as a result?
「疲れなど私は
Started? I'm not. Well, it sounds like you definitely have a lot of pride.
その証拠がこれです。
This is proof of that. Oh my god, you can never have it so that the computer doesn't see through you. Jesus Christ. Neonork displayed various numerical diagrams and illustrations in front of me after saying that. Oh my god, they indicated my physical state. Oh, Jesus Christ. That really just shows it. In particular, there was indeed an irregular disorder in my movements and delay in judgment in the battle footage viewed earlier. Even I couldn't help but click my tongue when each and every error was pointed out to me. Oh my god, that must be
最近の
brutal.
あなたは無理をしすぎです。
Yeah, you have been pushing yourself too hard lately. That's a little bit, you know, like relatable. I mean, said nothing.
ある意味では意固地になっているとも言えます。
When in a sense, one could say you've got stubborn.
自らを守るだけならいざ知らず、共に戦う同胞を支え、襲撃を受けた人間たちをもかばおうとしています。
I don't know when it comes to protecting yourself, but you have been attempting to protect your brethren and humans under attack during
能
battle.
力の限界を超えて。
Yeah. I really wonder how much sleep she is actually getting. I wonder how many sleep these people need in terms of like human time frames as well.
「私は竜の技術によって作られ 竜雲の理念によって構築されました。
I was created by the Yun technology and constructed in accordance with the Yun
故にジェ
ideals.
ダ、あなたの任務に対する真摯な意識は模範的であり、あなたの行為も全く正しいものであると理解し、評価もしております。
Therefore, I understand your earnest attitude towards your mission is exemplary and your actions are completely in the right. For that I commend you.
ただ、竜雲の過ちではなく、この世界の先住民、人間自身の運命にまで干渉することは、責任を持つべき範囲を凌駕しているとも思われるのです。
However, I believe that intervening in the fate of the natives in this world, the humans, and not just the mistakes of the Yun, is exceeding responsibilities.
それは
That's
竜雲の故郷にも、この世界で神と呼ばれる存在がありました。
Yeah. Even the Yun homeworld had been called a god. Had a being called God, much like this world.
すべての運命を作り出し、世にあまねく万物の命を左右することができる
Yeah,
権
and
威と力を持ったも
I suppose the Yun
の
is
とされる
actually
象徴
going
です。
to sort of put the sort of indicator that she is the one that's actually considered God here.
実際、私の記録媒体によると、かつての故郷の崩壊末期には、来たる終末の日は神の怒りによるものだと、
Interesting.
定款の果てに運命を受け入れた者も多数いたとあります。
In fact, according to my records, when the end of the former Yun homeworld was nigh, there were many who gave up and accepted their fate, claiming that the coming doomsday was caused by God's wrath.
自殺願望者。それは
Sounds like they wanted to die. That is actually fair enough, though. I mean, if you have so little help to think that, and obviously to never fight for your life, just to think that some higher power is in control of your life and you're never going to win to that higher power. I mean, I personally would never want to do that. No way. It is just a way of giving up, I suppose.
しかし、そこでも神は絶対のものであり、それがもたらした運命は誰にも揺るがし得ないものでした。
But even there, God was absolute and nobody could change a fate brought upon by it. Yeah, that's actually interesting. I mean, nobody can change the fate, but at the same time, is it caused by a god, or is it just caused by, you know, the human causes that are actually happening within? I hate saying human because it is not human. These people are not human. But like, yeah, I'm just so used to saying like human as opposed to, you know, supernatural
な
causes.
のに、あなたはその神に挑もうとしている。
Yet you were trying to challenge that god.
そして、それが不可能であることにも
And you have
あなた
realized
は
that is
気づいている。
impossible.
違いますか？
Am I incorrect?
ジェダ、
Jedi.
あなたの真摯さは素晴らしいと思い
Yeah,
ま
I
す。
think your sincerity is
ですが
wonderful.、
もうそこまで自分を追い込む必要はないのではありませんか？
Yeah, but you don't need to drive yourself so deep into a corner, do you? And it's actually fair enough. I mean, she does have a duty of responsibility and respect. Even though she is doing more than her duty entails, I think that is a really, really good thing, and she probably should keep on doing it if she really, really cares about, you know, just the future of the human world, really.
あなたはジェダである前に、竜の民、
Yeah, you are a yin before you were a
こ
Jedi.
の世界に新たな故郷を見出した
Yeah,
移民の子なのです。
a child of immigrants who discovered their new home in this
Dakara.
world.
よくも
So,
まあ図形に
you sure don't mince words, huh?
随分と我らに近い存在に成長したものだな、竜雲オーク。
You've really grown into something quite like us, haven't you, Yin?
ジェダ、
Jedi.
すまない。言い
Sorry,
過
I
ぎ
went
た。
too far. Yeah, that's actually really surprising. I mean, they just have such a respectful and close relationship that even something like that is just sort of seen as, you know, something as far as possible, really. I really don't agree with what Ryunork is actually saying, though. I mean, I just don't really know if you. I think to think about things like this, I don't really think putting it in a sort of godlike term is actually the best thing to do. I think putting it in terms of challenges, in my opinion, would be a better way. Just because, like, if you put it in godlike terms, it sort of gives the impression that somebody else is behind, and somebody else that is obviously so much greater than your authority will ever entail. Like, it really just sort of gets a little bit of a feeling of lost control, really. But if you sort of direct the feelings towards I don't know, for example, like a challenge, then it's not really going to be hopeless. I mean, even if you can't do it, I suppose it's just going to be something that could be done. It could be done if you push yourself. I don't really think it isn't. I don't think it's impossible at all. But I agree that she really doesn't need to force herself too much, because even though she's trying to protect everybody, her forcing herself too much will probably result in her dying, and as a result, they will be anything but protected. Oh, even I noticed that my tones grow pretty harsh. Oh, even I noticed that my tones are going pretty harsh, so I sincerely apologise. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. I'm not sure if Ryunork understands my apology. Oh god, yeah. Oh, that'd be the worst. Could you imagine just saying something really, really bad and then the apology not even being understood? But even so, in all my years of knowing her, she's been a valuable conversation partner, and I never wanted to treat her like an object. Yeah, good. To think you tell me the same thing. Oh, wait. Huh? Nothing. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that she is never going to stop fighting until she meets the end. I don't know, though. Who knows? It's really hard to tell. I shrugged instead of answering, then looked up and replied with a slight jest. Yeah, we'll talk... we'll talk about a break another time, but you're right about me being tired. Yeah, I'll go out and take a bath today. Is that okay?
わかりました。
Understood.
場所はいつものところですか?
The usual place, I assume? Yeah, shouldn't be any prying eyes around there. Oh, God. What, is she gonna... Oh, God. Oh, God, I regret even asking that question. Oh, God. That's actually really nice, especially doing some sort of really meditative activity. That's going to be really good for, you know, relaxation. Obviously, just... It's not really going to be good for amount of sleep you're getting, but at the same time it's going to be good for just overall relaxation, really. Taking your mind off things. I suppose this conversation also has the role of taking your mind off everything. And having fun instead of, you know, being on the front line. But just to be safe.
あの辺りは最近、隣の山から獣がいくつか移り住んできています。
Several animals have recently moved over there from the neighbouring mountains.
猛獣の類もいるそうなので、気をつけてください。
Oh God! Good, you can't even have a bath with safe conditions. Well, that is actually fair enough. I mean, especially because of this being like a long time ago. I wouldn't be surprised if the amounts of beasts in sort of locations that we wouldn't really have expected to be different to obviously modern day. yeah, fair enough, yeah. But the only thing is she doesn't have her sword.
ですね。
I see your point.
無用の注意、失礼しました。
Oh, I apologise for the meaningless warning. Right, so she's still able to take on, like, a really, really brutal and big beast, even though she doesn't have a sword. That's either really big strength patterns, or maybe just, you know, a little bit of hyperbole, you know.
それではまたな。
Okay, see you later. I turned around after that answer. Light covered my vision again, and at the same time, a floaty sensation raced through me. Oh yeah, she's back to reality. Oh wow. Wait, what?
ジェダ、違うのでしょ。
Oh, you know shit's bad when you are trying to escape somewhere, but not even the computer is letting you. You're on,
あ
Jenna.
なたがジェダを続ける理由は、むしろ
If anything, the reason you can keep being a Jedi is because... Oh. Oh, right. Hmm. I really wonder why, I really wonder what the Yun was actually going to say. I wonder if it was something that we already know, that we could sort of formulate based on our understanding, or maybe it's something that we don't really know. I suppose, maybe, if anything, the reason you can keep being a Jedi is because your body and build is so strong that you can literally wrestle mere beasts. I don't know. Right, I just want to see something real quick. I just got to see if I actually have enough time for... right. Oh god, I really have a lot to read. Right, oh god, I'm just thinking about whether I should. I'm gonna get like no sleep if I continue. Shit. Oh god, I really can't tell. No, actually, I don't really want to. I don't really think I have enough time to sort of finish this. It's just because I've got to get up early, so yeah, can't really risk sort of, you know, having too much sleep. That's actually really quite fun what we read today. It was really interesting. I really like learning about the Yun species, and also just well, not species, clan, to use the correct terminology, but yeah, I'm actually going to be really interested in the future just to learn about everything that we can actually relate to this species. And obviously, I'm really interested to see what's actually going to happen with the Griffeys as well. I wonder if they are actually going to inevitably, like in the near future, if they are going to actually turn this whole village into something really, really bad. And I really do wonder how the whole stories of Hinamizawa actually tie into those of... thingy. Well, this story that's actually happening here. Yeah, I'm also really wondering how everything's actually dying out, because let's be honest, it's kind of obvious to me that things are actually going to have died out, because yeah, why do these races exist now whereas they don't exist at all in the future? That's just my question. I really wonder. I really wonder where they went, how, especially the really strong Buticists, and I wonder how the Buticists died whereas the Griffeys didn't. Or maybe the Griffeys could have potentially outlived the Buticists and obviously overthrown them, and then they could have died in, you know, the human torture ceremonies that we've heard a lot about. I really don't know. It's going to be really quite interesting to find out. So, yeah, I'm going to go to bed now. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, because I certainly did. That was really quite fun. So yeah, see you guys.